3 p.m. Eastern time here, Cincinnati, Ohio. Gorgeous, dreary, cloudy, rainy day in Cincinnati, Ohio. Anyhow, well, this is Domain to Profit. And let me just tell you, if you're watching on Restream, live is the way to watch Domain to Profit because this is a community. There's a community of numerous others that are looking through domain names, this secret treasure chest of assets, this land of the internet that if you don't know how to get an expired domain name, you should be watching this show. This is what we do, is go through hundreds of thousands of expiring domain names, and then we look at the best ones, and then we go and possibly even bid on them live on the show. But these are great domain names. There's great domain names out there. It's truly treasure. And well, when I was younger, I would look through foreclosure lists in the newspaper. They used to publish them in the actual newspaper, all the foreclosures, house, lands. And I would just look for them and kind of dream about like, oh, you know, if I had the money or if I could do these different opportunities, just think about this land that I could build or this house I can own. And well, this is what we do right here, except for it's a heck of a lot easier than scouring through a newspaper full of classified ads. These are all searchable in a database, easy to use tool. And we are going to reveal the secrets that are expired domains today and just talk about like, hey, if you're watching this, you are still early to domain names. And I'll share on the other side of the intro here how I know that, because yes, I do know it. There's lots of opportunities. We're going to reveal them and talk about them today. I'm Drew Washus, Domain to Profit. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, let us know you're here. Let the community know so they can give you a big old virtual hug, an e-hug you might say, or ehug.com or something. But see you on the other side.
From domain to profit, from a .com to a business idea. Take a domain name, develop an income from domain to profit. We'll show you how. Domain to profit, from domain to profit. Join Drew Wash and get started right now.
All right. Well, let me go over to the chat. Catch, I saw that we had a time change victim here, an early person. But yes, 3 p.m. Eastern time now. Yeah, we had daylight there for a while. Now we're back to normal time. It's a Cincinnati thing, East Coast thing. Jeffrey, nice to have you. And I'm glad to be here. This is one of my favorite moments of the year. Although admittedly, the rain takes me out. I need to be somewhere warm right now, but I'm not. I'm here instead. Hey, Fred, how's it going? Nice to see you. Nice to have you here. And yes, turkey coma post turkey. I loved her. I roast the turkey. That's my thing on Thanksgiving. Chaz, nice to have you here. And let's see here. Today's title, love today's title. Yeah, this is that's the funny thing is we got this secret domain world and we actually want others to know about it. I personally have both selfish and altruistic. I think there's no such thing as altruism. I think that all of us do things out of selfish motivation, but my selfish motivation actually can benefit many people. As I mentioned, there are like very few people that actually know about expired domain names. And I know this because as I shared last week, I was in Baltimore for a trade show talking to towing companies, and the responses that we were getting as we were talking to towing companies, like, hey, we have a free website for you. Just need to point your domain name. And they would we had several people say, what's a domain name? And you might think, well, that's just you, Drew. You got some weird thing going on. No, these are small businesses. These are people that are kind of already, they've already stepped out of the rat race a bit, and they still don't even quite know what a domain name is. And so boom, you're already getting rid of a lot of people that don't know about domain names at all, or do they just know the internet's something that's just for tech people? And domains are not for tech people. Domain names are for anyone that wants to seize this internet opportunity. So let's get rid of all the people that don't even know about domain names. And then let's just say, like, how many people know about expiring domain names? Expiring domain names. You may not have thought, if you're just stumbled into this show and you're like, oh, there's this crazy guy talking about domain names. Have you ever thought about how somebody registers a domain name and they just let it expire? Like, what happens to that domain name? Well, there's a whole process that domain name goes through. And when you register a domain name, it's for a year and you can pay and keep adding years and years. And if you don't, yes, it expires. And there's a process that it goes through. And the best domain names usually end up on auction. They go through a process where it's like, hey, they're about to delete, they're about to be available to anyone, and they go through an auction process. People like me and all of those that watch this show regularly, we monitor those expired domains, and there's very few of us. We're talking thousands of people, and you might think, oh, there's thousands of people monitoring these expiring domain names, but realistically, in a world of 8 billion or whatever we have, is a few thousand really all that big of a deal? And the answer is no. The number of people, this is very much secret. A few thousand people have the inside track on expiring domain names, and now you are one of them. This is what we do each week. Monday, we go through 90,000 some domain names this week. You can see that right over there. There are 89,000 domain names expiring over on GoDaddy alone that we're going to just look through the first 200 or so here on Domain to Profit. So big things happening. So this is very much a secret. Isn't a secret relative? Like, you know, if you are the only one that knows, then you know the only secret. Well, a few thousand people know about expiring domain names. And to be quite honest, many of us that know about them still miss a lot of domain names. Some of us set up bots and different things to search through them. But realistically, there are chances that you're going to be one of only a dozen people that ever see a domain name that's coming across expiring domains. So this is a secret worth looking into. Why? Well, these expiring domain names can be valuable land that you can build on, land that you can start a business, even in an industry that maybe you have nothing to do with. Like for me, I started a business on towing.com, and I've been running that for many years with much success. And that is how I got involved in domain names. I've made millions, which I only share because I want you to know that this is a real deal. And that's why I'm here. I'm trying to help you find opportunities that you can pursue your own future and do great things through expiring domain names. And then as a domain name investor, I have a portfolio of nearly 1,000 great domain names. You get in, you make money, and maybe you'll buy some of my domain names or something. There we go. I'll make money somehow. That's the beauty of business, is there's lots of opportunity for all of us. So let me share and pull us into where we are. We are over, if you can see that up in the corner, expireddomains.net is where we are. This is the free tool, the free website that we use to look through expiring domain names. You can create a free account, and once you do, you can change yours to the dark background if you really want to, but it's all the same data. This is free. There's nothing special. Drew, this guy that runs the YouTube show, I don't have special access to anything. You can have all the same access that I do. It's a true equalizer. You just have to know about the secret of expiring domain names, which now you do. Let's look through some of them. And it's pretty much all we're going to do today is look through expiring domain names. And of course, if we see some that are great for the purpose of building a business, we'll talk about some of the business opportunities that can be on that domain name. So let's look at the filters. We haven't looked at them in a while. The filters that we are looking at, click, which you need to have that free account to use the filters. We get rid of numbers, we get rid of hyphens, we look at English, which I am blocking, English, 1 to 3 words is what we're doing. Feel free to adjust that as you feel necessary. We do also end the auctions over there. We end the auctions. We only look for the next 8 days. That means we will look to auctions that end around next week's show. So everything you see today will be gone most likely by next week's show. So watching this show live and participating is very important because this stuff is gone. Here today, gone tomorrow, and likely never to be available again, especially if it lands in my portfolio. So, and then we come over to this next tab, the additional tab, and we open up and select .com. For the sake of this show, we only look at .com, and I will tell you that for the sake of my portfolio, I also really only invest in .com domain names and develop .com domains. And the reason why that is, it's simply explained as if you own any other extension and you have success, you're always going to want the .com. You're going to long after it. You're going to want it. Your customers are going to want you to have it to avoid confusion. So for the sake of this show, we only look at the .coms. Are there other extensions? Yes. Can some of them be good? Possibly. But why deal and answer those questions? Then we apply those filters. And now we are to the 89,000 domain names that we're going to look at through today. And how do we order this list? How do we, out of those 89,000, get to the ones that we find best to spend time on? Well, we come over, and because we are looking, I guess an important piece to mention, we go to the Marketplace tab, and then GoDaddy expired domains auctions. That's where we're setting up those filters. When we do that, we can order by valuation. So this right here is the valuation. And you'll see that top one there. The valuation number on that is what, $12,385. Oh my goodness, and you can get it for a bargain price of $5,000. Maybe you should do it. No, there's lots of reasons you should not bid on that domain name, or especially consider the value at $12,000. That is because valuation is just a number we order by. It just helps us bring the ones that are probably most worth looking at to the top of the list. That is all it does. Just bring some of the best ones to the top. It does not mean that that is the actual value of the domain name. If you think that's the value of the domain name, you are making a mistake. You will go and lose a lot of money very quickly. Let me just save you. The valuation is not the value of the domain name. Sometimes it's more. Typically, it's way, way too high. So in this case, another reason why you will not be looking at that top domain name is that right there. It is listed as an ENOM registrar, which means that the domain name will likely not actually enter auction. The domain name will be renewed because these are expiring domains. So sometimes the domain names renew before the auction closes. Make sense? Okay, let's dive in. Let's find some opportunities, which needmoney.com would be a great opportunity if it was not an ENOM domain name. So that will likely not. And so let me just say, I'll just add a little asterisk. Feel free to go add it to your watch list. And if the domain name expires or goes to the end of the auction, bid on it. Absolutely. Just don't waste your time on it beforehand. Top home, not horrible. Slow living, again, that's an ENOM domain name. You can kind of see it off to the side over here. Not a domain name I'm going to spend time on since it's on ENOM. Europe Rail, yeah, that's not a bad domain name. We could type that into our tool, which we will look at here in just a few minutes, but I'm not going to quite yet. Let's look for a surefire domain name to go diving into. Any domain name we see, we can research, which I will show you the research tools that we use. The research tools are all about, instead of you like taking a guess, let's say you're kind of new to domain names and you look at these and you're like, well, GoDaddy is saying that the value is worth like $10,000, so GetKit must be worth something. Well, GetKit is likely worth something. Well, actually, let's go look at that one. So I'm going to click on it, which you should always click on it. That is how you support the free tool, expireddomains.net. Get kit ends in 2 days. This is what it looks like over on GoDaddy Auctions. You can see that Get Kit ends in 2 days, $325 currently. So now we're going to go into our tool, which is over here, which is SpyFu. Am I even running still? I am showing that I am. Maybe not. I'm definitely seeing some crazy stuff happening though. Okay. Well, hopefully you're still able to see me. I'm not sure what's up with the green bars and stuff. Hopefully it stays active. We'll make the most of it, folks. So here on SpyFu, this is the tool that we use to look over domain names. This is going to be fun. Maybe I'll have to adjust. But okay, so over on SpyFu, what we do is we drop the .com and we look at the domain name not as a domain name, we research it as a keyword set. In this case, get, we drop the .com, turn it into 2 words, and drop it into SpyFu. We'll see if this video thing works here. So sorry about the screen issues. I see it on my side as well. Yeah, is what it is. So GetKit, 44 searches are what's happening here is what this is showing us. So you may love the domain name, but ultimately there's not a whole lot of people looking for it. And that is really what we're looking for. If you are a rookie out there, you need to make sure that you are looking and spending your money on domain names that likely have a market behind it. People that are already paying for similar type keywords. That's not all you look for, but that is part of what you look for. So in this case, there's only 44 searches. We want to see that higher. And then down here, one of the best ways to look at the market is to notice that the cost per click, nobody's spending money. And then down here, there's 0 people advertising, which we want to see 10 advertisers or more, ideally, and then spending $2 or more per click. That is what we like to see. That is how we know that there's money to be made on the domain name. So back over to expireddomains.net. I find it interesting that this screen looks fine and the other one does not, but oh well, that's good. So that was just to kind of show you spyfu.com. If you were joining Domain to Profit, the screens, the tabs you would want to have open would be expireddomains.net set to the marketplace domain or GoDaddy expired domains. And then you'd also want to have a browser tab open to spyfu.com. That's the tool of choice. Not paid to say that. In fact, I pay them for their service. And you can also, the part of why we use it is they have a free, you can use it for free and see the top results. So no reason to spend money until you have to. In fact, we used it for free for like the first month of the show. Oh, this one's a pretty good one. Politicalviews.com. If you're really into having everybody that visits your website hate you, because if you share your political views, they're never right. So owning the domain name sounds like a headache. Politicalviews.com. 4 days left, $17 currently. And I can tell you this will go up higher. It sounds like a pretty good domain name, even though I probably wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole unless I can get it for cheap. Cheap to me would probably look like a couple $100, although I would not develop it most likely. So this is a little more like it. So we toss in the keywords, we drop the .com, and now you see we have political views, 2,800 searches for that, which is much better than 44, right? You see what we're going for. Now we're like, okay, there's people searching for this keyword. And what that says is there's like a market. There's a market kind of established for that, at least for eyeballs. Now the question is there a market for money-wise? And let's scroll down. And we see there's one advertiser paying $1.27, which not set any records. Something tells me the person that's going to get this one will have ulterior motives for it. So what I'm doing real quick, I did a Control F and then pasted the keyword in there. And now we are seeing different political candidates, political views, which I imagine that is what this site would be about, is sharing more of a research tool for politicians. That's what I would want to develop on it, is more of like, hey, here's, politicians should sign up and put their views on here and have an official political views profile set up. I don't know why anybody would want to get involved in politics, but I will add it to my watch list, because if it stays cheap, like I said, a couple $100, I'm not going to pass on a domain name with that kind of search options. Yeah, exactly. Half will hate the owner of the site no matter what. No matter what you do, half of the people will hate you. Every post you do, hated by half, loved by half, voila. I actually like people. So why would I want to do that to myself? Okay. Let's see here. People Science, Air Rail. Oh, Enum domain. How to Diet. Oh, my dear goodness. There you go. I'm sure there's good keyword searches on that. I don't care to mess with that, though. Integration platform. Not bad. So one of the things you'll see is we do see a lot of good domain names. Some of these domain names, if they really touch like your industry, your passions, then you should definitely be highlighting in them and diving into them. One example would be whiskeytours.com or spabar.com. Like that could be a thing. Like I imagine there are spa bars that may be more of a real an investment type domain name. So something you buy low in order to sell high. But I like to buy for development. That's what I am after, is to buy for the sake of development. And that is what I want to do. So let's look at Whiskey Tours. Whiskeytours.com, 5 days left, $255. I look at this one because I do have some domain names in. I'm going to open a new SpyFu window just in case. Nope, still going to have display issues. Okay. Whiskey Tours. So now we're back over in SpyFu, tossing in Whiskey Tours as a keyword search. Okay, only 44 searches, 0 money, 0 advertisers. Let's see what's happening with Whiskey Tours with the Control F. And what the Control F does is highlight, which it may not show on the messed up screen right now, but you can see here, Whiskey Tours in Kentucky. That is a keyword that you can target, which would add 540 searches for it. Where do Whiskey Tours in Japan? That's a keyword that you'll see over here as well under the questions. So I don't know. I do like the domain name. It's going to get a watch from me. That is a 5-day domain name, $255 currently. And what I am going to do is try to reset my display stuff. Let's see if Drew can break his stuff up. Let's see here. This will make things go haywire, but hey, that's a chance we're willing to take, I think. At least I am, because I really want to have my screens not look funky all the entire show. I want to actually be able to see what I'm doing. Let's see, did that work? No, it did not work. What in the world? I can't even see what that even says. What? Anyhow. Always something, right? Always something. I get it. Okay. Well, we're just going to have to deal with it, folks. That's the downside of a live show, is when it goes wrong, we just got to deal with it. When I first started to do any kind of public speaking, some of the best advice I got was keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Like when you get up on stage and you're speaking, if something doesn't go right, you don't have an opportunity to stand up there and go, like it's like just skip it, move on, keep going, keep moving forward. Verified alarms. No, I didn't mean to click on that. Beach hunters. That's a thing, right? Beach hunters, people think. Okay, $2,600. This one ends tomorrow. Let's see if it's a thing. Just because it's a lot does not mean it's good or bad. It may mean that it's, well, it just costs more money. If there is a ton of searches for it, no, there's not. So what I was thinking about with this domain name would be something along the lines of, I cannot see what that is behind the screen. Like, Control F, it's storing. Anyhow, I just wish I could figure out what the display issue is. Okay, highlighting, not really seeing anything. Okay, Beach Hunters must be a show, I guess. Does that sound right? I don't really watch much along that line. No advertisers, 11 cents per click. Not really much happening for it. Not sure what you would do with the domain name unless you run Beach Hunters. Motorcycle Games sounds not good. We'll keep on moving on. Yacht weddings. Had my wedding on a yacht. Me and my fiance Biffy. Okay. Is it really? Is this the thing? Are you messing with me or not? Like whiskey? I'd have to hear you say that. Something tells me that's a joke that I'm missing. I get it because, well, my humor does not translate to text at all. Project Runway? That's a thing, right? Isn't that a thing? Okay, well, this one's probably going to be more of getting in trouble with trademarks because I think Project Runway is that like a model show or something. $1,500 currently. Want to mess with somebody's trademark? There you go. ProjectRunway.com is for you. I'm going to skip it. Well, let me just share you as an experienced domain person. You do not want to mess with domain names that are part of brands. Don't bother. In fact, we've done shows where we've showed you how to search it over on the patent and trademark search to try to save yourself a little bit of a headache. Cyber storage? Nope. Enom. You'll see that Enom are a lot of them. The experience says the Enom ones are not going to expire. So quick coding. I don't know if anybody would ever search for that. Ends in 3 days, quickcoding.com, $22. Over to our funky screen here on SpyFu, which usually looks a lot better. Not sure what the green bar here is. There's some kind of issue with my video output. That's just going to be life for now. Let's see here. Quick code, 28 searches. Going to do a Control F, and let's see if it shows up anywhere else. No, it does not. And the Control F, we're looking for things to light up like a Christmas tree. We want to see keywords highlight all over the place, showing that this keyword matters more than just the exact match searches, which is what this over there is showing. It is not. Therefore, other than a cute little domain name, which we see all the time, we see lots of good domain names. The question is it worth spending money on? In this case, probably not. If you work in coding and think it goes with something you're already doing, then maybe go for it. But other than that, don't bother. Ain't no party like a cat party. Oh, man. So a lot of times, one of the things I do encourage, if you see me passing a domain name that you think is a good one, just let me know. I can go back to it and or tell you why I'm skipping it. Thunder Truck. I am Thunder Truck. Okay, let me zoom out just a little bit, see more data. Thunder Truck sounds like a fun one. But also, cute doesn't mean much, right? One of the things I talk about here on Domain to Profit is skipping domain names that are almost good. We need to have a reason to spend the money on them. Now, cheap is a good reason. If it's cheap, it could be a good reason, not always a good reason. So you got to make sure there's keyword data there, that it's in an industry that you care to mess with. That's a good reason to mess with it as well. And there we go. We are down through the first 200 domain names of the GoDaddy domain names. So there you go. We're going to go to the next page and look at the next 200 domain names. A lot of times we get to 200 to 400 domain names. I don't really have much going on other than looking through expiring domain names. So we'll just keep going. This is what we're looking for. I haven't bought a good expiring domain name in a while. I've been buying some buy now. If the domain name, it goes to auction, and then if no one bids, it goes through I think it's like a 3-day period where people can just buy it. You can buy it for like $50, and it goes down in price. That is after the auction is over, that you can buy it. And then after that, it goes to being available for hand registration. So just like a normal domain name, you go into GoDaddy or any registrar and you search, and it's available. Runway. So this one here, like Restoring Faith, that one sounds like a domain name that would be a domain that is like a marketing type domain name. Restoring Faith, I've heard people say that. I've seen it in marketing campaigns. That's what I call a marketing domain name. You can buy it for the sake of those who are looking to possibly use it in the future for a marketing campaign. More of an investment type domain name versus a development domain, which one of the focuses, or the main focus of this show, we are looking through domain names that we can develop into a business, into a line of a way to get revenue. We want to generate, I want these domain names to turn into you improving your life, improving your income, making your dreams come true, which domain names can do. I am proof of it. Lots of people have made a lot of money in domain names. Some of them are just bitter, and I think they went down the wrong path. If I kind of have this crazy thought that if whatever path you choose to go on in life, if you go on a path that that leaves you bitter when you're older, maybe you didn't choose the right path. Just saying. Having money and nothing but anger in your heart seems like a pretty crappy way to go through life. Clicking on cameraoperators.com, cameraoperators.com sounds like either a job board or some kind of employment type website, assuming everything's spelled right. And if there's any search, here we go. Boom. Camera operators, 440 searches are happening on this one exactly. Let's go see if there's any money involved. No money. So here's what I'm looking at. If I can get it to show up on the screen, boom. Cost per click, 40 cents. That's right up there. And the zero hanging out right above my head. That means there's nobody paying. Like, sure, there might be people searching for the keyword. It might be something that kind of matters, but ultimately, not much happened. I'm going to do the Control F trick because I want to show you one thing. One of the key things that I try to do here, it's not just about finding opportunities. It's about educating so you can go out and find your own opportunities, not just on Monday at 3 p.m. So I did the Control F, camera operators, and you'll see some of these questions over behind me highlighted. Well, you would be able to see that if the screen wasn't a little messed up. But what I want to show you is if I go back into the Control F and I turn it into a singular search. So now I'm just looking for camera operator. So I got rid of the S, camera operator. It has a lot more searches. So almost all these jobs, I guess you can see the gray highlighted over here. There are thousands of people searching for camera operator in a singular way. So that means camera operators, it's a little more of a gamble, but you can target these other keywords. It's just you don't have the surefire entrance to it. But if you call up, some of these places and advertisers maybe for camera operator training near me, anyone advertising for that would probably be thrilled to hear somebody from cameraoperators.com calling to about employment or whatnot. So it gives you access to that industry. 440 people are searching for the plural. So that one is going to be added to the watch list. That ends, 7 days? So just before the show next week. Let's see here. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. Okay, so Ian's sharing with the Whiskey Tours, I believe is what it was, Whiskey Tours. They don't add the E in Scotland. That's interesting. I did not know that. Well, I'm from Cincinnati. We're just north of Kentucky, which is the home of whiskey. Well, I guess the home of bourbon. But nonetheless, lots of tours around here and so on. It's certainly going to be added to my watch list, and we definitely add the E, I believe. Are you still able to post to the Domain to Profit community? For example, domain, yes, absolutely. And that is community.dtp.tv, community.dtp.tv. I am going to toss that into the chat right now. And you'll see that over on the YouTube chat, which, let's see, I think it would be right over there. You can find that URL. The community is still up and live, but it is something that's going to go away. We're looking for a better solution. So, but it is certainly there for now. Hopefully it prompts me to come back and check it out. Admittedly, I haven't been on there in a few weeks. I've been super busy with last week's trade show. So Taxative, that looks like a fun domain name. Mixing Solutions, Plumber Houston. So I will say this. One of the things we do sometimes is we order this list by this column here, which is cost per click, or CPC. That is a column we've added into our results. It does not show up by default. You have to go up to the column manager up at the top of the screen, and then you can add in Google Ads, cost per click. And one of the things I just want to show you is this domain name here, this plumber one. Let me see if I can get out of the way enough. You'll see that, let me move it up. There we go. So just above my head here, Plumber Houston is it says the cost per click is $31.88, which, yes, it probably is. The only thing is there's not too many people searching for Plumber Houston. Google has kind of wrecked the idea of a local domain name. You can certainly pursue that. The only thing is you're going to have a long road ahead of you targeting a local domain. However, if you want to do it as you buy it and you call up all the different plumbers and you have them advertise on the domain name, that is certainly an option. You can see they're already paying a good amount of money to target the keyword. We don't talk about the local domain names very often. We typically stick to the national type large domain names, but local domain names are a thing. You can certainly pursue them. In fact, I'd say that the part of the reason I started the show was my son wanted me to give him one of my good domains so that way he could, start a website. He wanted me to hand him a business is what he wanted me to do. And I said, no, I won't do that, but here's what I'll do. I'll give you one of my secondary domain names, CincinnatiAccountants.com, and show you how to start a business on it, which is like put a directory up, find 2 or 3 accountants in Cincinnati that want to be featured on that site. And, well, he did not do that, but he could have. And then I was like, you know what? If I'm going to show him how to do it, maybe I should start a live stream showing people how to take domain names and turn them into businesses. You could do that and call it Domain to Profit. Turn a domain name to a profit. Oh my goodness. It just writes itself. Neared.com. I don't know if I like that or not, but it's short. That makes it, okay, so 7 days. This one will end during next week's show. I'm just kind of curious as to what the heck that is. Is that an actual word? Neared? Yeah, I have no idea. 440 searches for it. So one of the things you have to kind of watch out with domain names is neared.com may be an actual word, but nobody's really searching for it. Some people will probably talk you into buying you can have a single word domain name, and don't bother. You're gonna waste your money on it. Okay, refinance exchange. Continuing on down the list. Drew, you talk so fast and you never shut the hell up. That's correct. I don't. I just keep talking. That's why I have to drink so much water. Yeah, my wife has to deal with me full time too. Poor woman. Okay. Badassbuddha.com. I love that. That's fun. Flippercommunity.com. Flippercommunity.com. That seems like it could be something. What would you put on flippercommunity.com? I'm thinking it's just a nice little forum, some tools and things for people that either flip houses or flip websites. But there's nothing really there. So that's just Drew's imagination running wild. But imagine if you're already flipping houses, flipping whatever it is that you're flipping, buying it low, doing something to it and selling it for more. Flipper Community might not seem that bad of a domain. And there we go. We're about to go. Let's go and reorder the list. I don't want to keep going down the same list. Now, I will say, as you can see, we just went through domain names. The value here got down to like $2,500. Off camera, I a lot of times will go down through and looked at domains all the way down to like 12, sometimes 1,500 in that range. Basically, I'll go a couple more pages. Just because this number is going down does not mean the domain names are garbage. It just means there's more garbage mixed in. You just have to look through more trash in order. It's a treasure hunt, right? The secret is there's a treasure hunt, and here's how you access it. You can go to expireddomains.net and find it. Now, one of the other things we can do, though, is I'm going to go back and start the search over. I have a saved search for that set up the filters, and that pulls up the same list that we had earlier. Now, what I want to do is, here's that column manager. Can you see that up in the up hand? Here's column manager. And then when we're in here, I'll show you how to do this real quick. You go to Google Ads, expand that out, and then you click on CPC, and then you go down and save it, save changes. And then that is how you get to add the column of CPC to your results, which is right here. Now, what we're going to do is, instead of just continuing down, I want to order by the cost per click, and so we'll see if we can find some interesting domain names this way. So that you can order by a bunch of different things. I like to order by valuation when I have it. I also will order by cost per click, and then I will also finally order by registration, or TLDs. Basically, this column here will show you how many extensions, so .com, .net, .org, .info, .co, .io. It will show you how many extensions the domain name is registered in. Now, the important thing to notice about that, or to say about that, is we are looking at only .com domain names. So if we're looking at the premium, the top type of domain name, the .com, and there's like 10 registered, that increases some value of, say, happyharmony.com. Like everything else, You cannot use one single piece of data and go all in on it. That's a quick way to find the exceptions, which there are exceptions to every rule. And basically what you'll do is you will go broke buying domain names specifically just for that reason. I love the chat. And if you're not watching live, you just got to watch live or see the chat and everybody over there. There's always drama in the domain industry, such big personalities. It's how you get Twitter followers and stuff, right? You need to have drama. Okay, angularly. I could actually say that, angularly. I'm surprised by it. So this is kind of like that neared word. It may actually be a word, but you'll see there's nobody really searching for it. A different version of the word is what actually gets all the searches. An interesting brandable, possibly domain name here. That would not be for the sake of purchasing it. You wouldn't purchase that domain name to develop it necessarily. You can probably use it for like a brand. Like, hey, we're Angularly. I don't know how you would say it though. Angularly.com. That's who we are. Poor person answering the phones. They'd have to practice. Angularly, tongue twister. But that is the, I don't know why it has 144 searches or $144 cost per click. That's kind of crazy. So let me talk a little bit more about these we're ordering by the cost per click. And you'll see over here, there's a lot of these domains that are still not that good. Yeah, that's because cost per click is, it's a game. It's not, it's like everything else. Just like we said, you can't just look at the number of extensions it's registered in. You can't just look at the GoDaddy valuation. A lot of these, like pediatrician, malpractice, lawyer.com. I don't want to own that domain name. I can't even look at that. Look how long that thing is. And you want to own that? Like you can find better domain names, do better. It does not give you a surefire way to target a keyword, which is why people have probably registered these thinking, oh, I'm going to own that keyword with this great domain name. And then they realize search engine optimization is hard, and especially for high value keywords. And yeah, just don't bother. Lending small business. That's close to a good one. I usually don't like 3-word domains, and that's another thing. You'll see there's a lot of 3-word domain names here when you order by cost per click. And that is, if you think about it, a single word, like towing. Okay, they're looking for towing, but are they looking for a towing product, towing company, something really like anything related to towing? So the keyword is broad. But if you get to more specific, like towing company in Cincinnati, Ohio, that's a very actionable keyword. They're looking for something very specific. So now if I'm a towing company in Cincinnati, Ohio, I want to bid more for that keyword because that is somebody looking for me. That's why you'll see a lot more money being spent on longer domain names or longer keywords. It's another reason why you just got to kind of, a lot of times I will change the filter to only look at 2 words or less. Nationwide piano movers. I know we have a few. I work in moving domains sometimes. That's not a bad domain name. I'll click on it just to pull it up. If you're looking for a domain name, a business to work, you could possibly go with this. Ends tomorrow, $12. It's a long butt domain name, but you could probably flip that domain name if you can buy it for cheap. $12 currently, ends tomorrow. I will say that moving is typically very seasonal, come and go money. It's why we don't, it's not our primary industry by any means. Cheaper plumber. Yeah. Oh, more water. That's the answer. More water. Okay, I'm going to go down a little bit more And then we'll wrap it up. If you have any questions or anything, just general domain name questions, domain name business, it looks like we'll have a couple minutes. I'll either end early or I can answer some questions. So feel free to toss them in the chat if you would like. I'm liking this one here, possibly. Estimate Solar. I always look for specific characteristics. That one's not something you would say, which makes it an almost domain name. Solar Estimate. Okay, Solar Estimator. Okay. So this is what I figured it would be big money, which as you can see here, hopefully you can see that. $15 per click is what it costs to target these keywords. The only thing is there's nobody really paying it. So the one guy that came on spent a lot of money for these 44 searches, 44 clicks. You can see other keywords are more important. So you can possibly get entry to that industry with a domain name, but you know, I wouldn't mess with it. I appreciate it, Domain Explorer. We've been trying to do a bunch of different stuff to improve it. I'm glad it's working out. To be quite honest, there's not been a ton of changes other than we've made a lot of changes, just nothing too major over the last couple of days or over the last couple of weeks. But I'm glad that it's working out well. Maybe Windows or some of the software is updated correctly. I think it's a lot of times what it is the software has issues. But I got 2 laptops running and wires all. Okay, what is going on here? Why is it skipping around? It's not let me do page up, page down anymore. So scroll is going to be a little funky here. I should have ended. Fast tree removal. That's not a bad domain name. Okay, fasttreeremoval.com ends before next week's show. I don't know if there will be anything here. I shouldn't say I've looked for, but I am currently searching for a good tree type domain name, like tree service, tree removal service. And this is why right here, there is big money behind it, very seasonal business, no advertisers currently. But there you go, fast tree removal. Fast tree removal, looking down through the middle keywords right here behind me. They're mostly off screen. Not really much happening. I will skip that domain name for sure, but drip campaign marketing. Okay. So one of the things, L Couch adding in that they order by 0 bids. That's one of the things I do show somewhat frequently is if you go to I'm just going to reorder it. Actually, let's go with, we'll come in the GoDaddy expired. So I'm restarting the list. It's just going to be from the top again. And now I'm going to order it by bids 0. Now, if you're going to order it by bid 0, so that domain names without bids, I would recommend that you add in other filters as well. So here's what I'm going to do. Because right now, any domain name that is like 8 days out, most likely is going to have 0 bids. So what we want to do is we want to look at some of the other filters we can change. For example, if it has 0 bids, I want to see that it ends maybe in 1 day or even within the next day. So I'm going to change it to where it's like we're looking for 1 day, and then let's enter in a max price. Let's see here. Let's say, you can enter in like 0 bids here even. Let's see if we get 2, we go max price, $80. We're going to apply those filters. So you can play around with expireddomains.net. This is why this free site is freaking baller. Like, great site. Great service to you and I as domainers. Now we are looking at domain names that are, they have no bids or very few bids. So now we can do that same thing. We order by that valuation. Since we're looking at GoDaddy domains, we can see military mining, whatever the hell heck that would be, myasteroid.com. So these are maybe good domains. Who knows? Emergent Air, Will Credit. So a lot of times when you're looking for domains, remember, this is like this secret world, right? So let's say there's a couple thousand people that are looking through this list. Well, you know, they're going to miss a lot of these domains when you order by zero, or domains with very few or zero bids. Look for the deals, look for the ones that are sneaking through, and still do the research to make sure you're not, you know, buying a typo or something like that. Then what you can also do is, here's one of the things. Let me find one that I like. Here you go. How about hotstudents.com? That sounds like a good domain. Probably actually has traffic and stuff. Okay, this one ends in 5 minutes. What I would recommend you do on some of these is, if you really want to play the auction domain or auction game, you can bid on this domain name with about 5 minutes left. And then if you're the only one bidding, you got it for $12 plus the registration fee. Now, what you can also do is you can add it to a watch list, which you'll see that I do that with a lot of domain names. And the reason why I do that is because when I add it to my watch list, the domain name, it will actually go through the auction and nobody will bid on it. And then it will have a $50 buy now price on it after this auction ends. You can buy it for $50 plus a registration fee, or wait till tomorrow it goes down to $40 or $30, and then the next day it goes down to $15, and it will get down to $11 where you can get it even cheaper. But what that also allows you to do is buy it. I have experimented and found that if you bid sometimes for these $12 domain names, some of the bots and things that are out there, they will see somebody bid on domain name and then they will overbid you, just almost like an emergency bid to make sure they have a chance of bidding on it. Who knows if that would happen? But there you go. If you want hotstudents.com, which probably is not a bad adult type domain name, not something I mess with, but currently going for $12. So there you go, Hot Students. There. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, just do the watch list. I've been buying a lot more. I've actually not bought an auction domain name for quite some time. I've been doing buy now domain names. So let me just show you kind of, or wait, actually I don't want to, okay. I'm not showing my domain names today. I got things that are ending that I don't, you can go back and see them if you really want to be mean to me. Okay. Compare good. Oh, compare goods would be a good one. Purchase filter. Anyhow. Okay. There we go. So what do we go? I believe we got some value out there. If you have not, and you're still watching for sure, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. That's all it costs. That's all it costs for this. Maybe I'll put together a t-shirt. You can buy a t-shirt. Just kidding. I'll sell like a pullover or something because, yeah. Okay, well. I guess that's about it, huh? Okay, well, in that case, we are going to wrap things up. I will be back Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to look through more domain names, expiring domain names. Welcome to this world, the secret world of expiring domain names that only a few thousand plus you know about. And very feel like a lot of people don't like spend time routinely looking through these. So this is a new opportunity that you'll have to introduce to, well, hope you find something great that can change your life. That is certainly what I want for you, is good intentions, find some great domain names, develop those domain names, put something on them. That is what this show is all about. We don't just want you to get a domain name. We want you to use the domain name, generate revenue, or generate value for the world in some way. So there we go. I'm Drew Walsh. This is Domain to Profit. Thank you for joining me. I hope you will join me again next week, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will be back right here. Take care.